Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another one. It is Brian S. Arnold here, and this is the Authority Project. And I have my new good friend here, Aimee LaLIberte, and she says she wants to get right back to business in redefining our relationship with profit. Is that right, Aimee?
Yes, let's talk about more profit in your business.
I would love to. I would very much love to. And we shall see what we can do today on this amazing episode of the Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of The Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
All right, and we are back with another one, folks. It is Brian S. Arnold here, and this is the Authority Project. And you are the project. We want to slap authority to your name so you can sell more of what you're great at. And I am here with Aimee today on the virtual stage with me. Honored to have her here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am great. For some reason, all of a sudden got very hot in here. I don't know why. The humidity in Boston is crazy.
Oh,
Yeah. So anyway, we are here and we're back with another one. And before we dive into this, because I'm excited to see where this takes us here with this topic. Mm-hmm. But tell us, first of all, who you are, Aimee, personally and then professionally.
Okay. So my name is Aimee LaLIberte. I am a wife, mother to 3 children and 1 fur baby. And I live about 2.5 hours north of New York City. And I have spent my entire life, and I mean my entire life, fascinated by money, building relationships with money, and learning how to help my business owners maximize profitability in their business. And that is what I do professionally. And so my firm, My Virtual CFO.co, is the place where 6- and 7-figure business owners decide that once and for all, they are going to have a relationship with money. They are going to scale their businesses with profitability at the forefront so that they can create any money goal their heart desires.
Perfect. Awesome. So before we dive in, one more question that I ask most of my guests here.
Yeah.
What does your daily routine look like?
Oh my gosh. Well, my daily routine, this is such a loaded question for me because, as I mentioned, I have 3 children who are outside of school now. And so I have them in various camps. So my daily routine is typically what is consistent is I wake up at between 6 and 6:30 every morning. And I take that space, that first 30 minutes of the day, just to be and just to sit and to be, because I'm a slow riser. I run all day, and I feel like that time, that empty space that I have in the morning is very ritual for me, and it helps me just frame. And so I typically spend, a work day doing working with my clients, podcast guesting, and just working on my business. And then in the evening, as of late, my ritual is really making dinner with, and then I'm into rowing, as in like a rowing machine. I have one of those that I do, and then just being with my family. It's a very typical, I would say, lifestyle that I currently live on, which I think goes along with the fact that I'm in the season of raising 3 children and just really enjoying time as a family.
Awesome. Great stuff. So let's dive into it then. Let's dive into it.
Okay.
How do we define our relationship with profit? How do we do that?
So I think that before we can define a relationship with profit, I think we really need to define a relationship with money and how we wish to have a relationship with money. I think we are told that there's a certain way to do money, and that there's all of these different things, such as debt is bad, that that all the, like, you have to grow a business a certain way. You have to live a certain lifestyle. And there's this, like, where there's like personally, there's this keeping up with the Joneses mindset.
Yeah.
And what we haven't stopped and done is really like taking a breath and saying, like, what do we want our relationship to be with money? How do we want that to look? Are you someone who enjoys just living in the moment? Or are you someone who likes to save, and really starting to have those questions? And what has been your relationship with money up until the moment that you've decided you wanted to have an intentional relationship with money? And once we have that sort of solidified, that's when we can start talking about the redefinition of your relationship. Because if we don't understand where it is right now, we can't redefine it because we haven't even defined it in the first place.
Okay, so that's awesome. So what kind of questions do you usually come up with for us to generate some type of understanding about where we are with money?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to answer that question from like a business perspective, because
Okay.
I mean, we can certainly do this from a personal perspective,
True.
but I think so you want to start a business, and
Yeah.
I think that there is this, there's some people who want to start the business because they want to be the next Apple, Google, whatever.
Right.
And then there's some people who just really want to have the flexibility of their schedule, and they want to be able to work when they want to work and create the income that they want to create and really have that. And so, self-employment and like really defining what does that look like. And oftentimes people are running into the throes of entrepreneurship. I think because it sounds exciting.
Yeah.
And it is exciting.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of work involved, and there's a lot of like, how do you replace your 9-to-5 income if you're working in a corporate world? How are you if you're someone who's like staying at home with your kids? How do you like redefine your time with that? And so it's really just having an honest like assessment of where you are right now with your money. So how much money do you need in order to create the lifestyle that you desire? And that answer is going to be different for so many people. There are some people who want to live where, the standard of living is really low and that there's not a lot of money that needs to be had. And then there's some people who want to live in an urban setting, such as Boston, and that looks completely different. And it's beautiful whichever way you want, but it's like, how do you get really clear on what that is? So it's almost like you have to decide what is the personal lifestyle that you want. And then when you move into like talking about it from a business perspective, okay, what is that number? And really start to do like a reverse engineering of it. So it's, okay, I need to pay myself this much money a month to create the lifestyle that I've just sat here and defined for myself. Okay. I need to put money aside for taxes because I'm inevitably going to need to pay taxes because I know I'm going to have a profitable business because I am creating that relationship with my business and it will be profitable. And then how much do I need in order to create this business model that is going to deliver on the value and the service that I wish to have for my clients? And when we have that all solidified, that's when we can really start to define our products, define our services, define our pricing, and really start to identify with the type of person that we want to serve and that we want to work with.
I'm glad you said all of that, because I think a lot of people are worried when they start trying to start a business about how to deal with the business money. Mm-hmm. How do I deal with that? So is there like a simple blueprint for those who are just getting into the money stage of collecting client money, mm-hmm. about how to really structure that in a way that keeps them sane, at least for that first year? How does one deal with that?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I think there's like a mindset thing that has to happen first and foremost. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by the mindset is that when people are just starting out, and let's say that you're not someone who's going to just leave their 9-to-5 and go all in on their business, but you have like a timeline and plan. So you may not need your business to be the thing that's going to create all the money for your lifestyle, but that's the bridge you're building towards. Yeah. But what happens inevitably is that they tell themselves that they're just starting out and they call themselves a baby business. And I think that is one of like the worst things that you can possibly do as a new business owner, because you're doing something that a lot of people that are living on this planet would never even consider doing. There is nothing infantile about starting your own business. That is like big league stuff right there. And so you are not a baby business owner. You are at the beginning stages of your business, but that doesn't mean that you're a baby. That just means that you're just starting out, and that's just where you are on your journey. But then when it comes to money, the next thing I see that business owners that are just starting out do is they don't separate their business finances from their personal finances. They think, I'm just starting out. I don't really have a lot of money collected, or I'm spending more money than I'm bringing in. I don't need to do these things like create a business banking account. And that is something that is just separating those finances from the very, very beginning is so important. And then next, it's like having a money system for which you categorize your money. So we call that an accounting system. You call it bookkeeping. There's like, your QuickBooks, your Xero, your Wave, but having that system. And I know that if you're listening and you're someone who's just getting started with their business, you may think, I don't need to do that. I don't have enough of like expenses or income to come in. Like, no, because you will hit a point where you're going to have all of that happening, and you're going to wish that you took the time at the beginning stages of your business to really solidify that foundation. And then it's just going from there, like building out from there. But if you can just start from day one, entering as I am just getting started, but this business is going places, and this business is designed to serve me and serve my life in a way that I wish it to be defined, it's going to catapult you and help you scale even faster, because you're going to have that relationship with money, that relationship with your profitability from the very beginning.
Amazing. Okay, so that's great. So how do we get to this point where we're dealing with our personal money, like our job money, to pay for this tool, to pay for like this, training to help us continue our, get better with our business and so forth, to help us pay for the website hosting and so forth, and then try to still align that with our business money, because there's nothing in the business account yet, unless you're throwing stuff in there, I guess. I mean, to do that. So how do we bridge that gap from our personal job money to putting some of that, or allocating that to our business account and so forth?
I think that what you need to do is I know what you need to do is you have to reframe the way that you view yourself in terms of like your business. So when you're just getting started, chances are you're doing all the things. So you're the marketer, you're the salesperson, you're the finance person, you're the CEO, you're the visionary, you're the service delivery person. You're pretty much doing all the things, right? Well, guess what? You're also the investor in the business. And so when you have decided that you're going to start a business and you've created your business bank account, you then take money from your personal account and you invest it into your business. So you're creating the equity in the business as like having a capital contribution as the owner. And that's how you get started. It's the same way that if you went to the bank and said, I want to buy this house, but I don't have $500,000 for this house. They say, amazing. Here is $500,000. It's the same way. You are the investor of your business. Okay. You take the money out of your personal account, you put it into your business account, and you treat it as such, as a capital investment into the business.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay. Can you think about like anything that you've seen in your experience or with your clients rather, about maybe like one of the worst things you can do when you're doing this? What's the biggest mistake that you've seen or that you should avoid once you get started with trying to work this out within yourself with your own money and your business money?
I think the biggest mistake is this limiting belief that you don't understand money and you don't understand your business finances. So rather than working on developing that relationship and becoming familiar with your business finances, you just avoid them. That is the biggest mistake. And that is what's going to keep you. It doesn't matter if you're somebody who is currently in business making all the money, but you have no idea what's happening with your business. In terms of from a financial lens, like not having a relationship with your money and not understanding the financials of your business in order to help you make business decisions, because it doesn't have to be the only lens that you make a business decision from. And in fact, it's probably the wrong, like to only say, I'm going to make a business decision based solely on the numbers. I don't think that that's smart business sense, but not even considering it as part of like the decision-making process is a miss for businesses. And I see that way too often, and it doesn't need to be that way.
That's great. This is great stuff. Great stuff. So how do we get into a mode where we are confident? Say like people saying that they're not good at math. They've never been great at math. I don't know how to do a book, bookkeeping, sheet, liabilities, and those, they don't know how to balance anything. So what do you say to people like that who just don't know how to do any of this?
Well, the first thing I would say is that they say I was not good at math. So at this point, if you can add 4 plus 4, then you can do this, because it doesn't matter if you've got hundreds, thousands, millions of dollars in your business. It's all like that very basic fundamental math. And then the next piece of it, when it comes to the bookkeeping stuff, if you're someone that enjoys those organization shows, like any of them, like Hoarders, the Room Edit, the Home Edit, whatever it is that can take something that looks like a complete, like a stack of papers and like creates an organization system. That's exactly what you're doing with your money in your business, is that the accounting software is the organization system that you use in order to keep everything where it needs to be. And so what I would say to you is, if you're someone who feels a sense of scarcity, who feels a sense of avoidance, who feels a sense of doubt when it comes to their money and how to manage their money and how to even begin having a relationship with money, what you need to do is look for someone to help support you and help you build out that system. Because if you can understand how the money comes in and out of your business, if you can understand and read an income statement for your business, it will help you make decisions. It will help you gain clarity and confidence on, are the clients that you have on retainer the clients that are giving you the greatest profitability? Is there a certain client that you have that the profitability isn't working for you and it doesn't serve you? And maybe they don't feel like energetically aligned with you. Like if you have that bookkeeping accounting system set up that you can then manage, and then you are able to ask the questions and answer them all in one sitting and have like money dates with yourself to really understand the business financials. That's where that's where everything changes for you. It's no longer an excuse of like, I'm not good at math. I was bad at math at 4th grade. I don't understand how bookkeeping works. I don't understand software. We decide that we are going to become familiar with it. We decide that we are worthy to have a relationship with money, that we are worthy of having a maximized profitable business, and that we can do it because there are people on this planet who live, eat, and breathe this and do it just because they can't imagine doing it any other way.
Great stuff. So I'm going to bring this to your attention now. We're talking about money, the relationship with money, with profit, but where does this align with what your heart wants? Because I see a lot of people who are going or chasing the money, but it's not really what they want. They really want, freedom, or they really want to do this one thing that maybe results in them having this money or this profit or something of that nature. So what do you say to people who come to you or just say, I just want to make $10,000 a month, and they don't care how they do it. They just want to get there. Can you explain maybe like the disconnect of just wanting the money as opposed to wanting to do something to get to that result of the money?
Yeah. So I think it comes back to just your why, right? So like for me, I decided that I wanted to have the best relationship with money, with me, with having money. And like I said to you when we started, I had this
Yeah.
relationship with I was always fascinated with how money worked and just the transactions and all of that. And my thought was, if you work really hard and you put in the time, it's like the whole trading dollars for hours thing, right?
Yeah.
And my parents worked so hard. They were like the two hardest working people that I have ever seen, right? And at 18, I was a freshman in college. My parents decided to no longer be together. And my parents, like also financially, were no longer in a position where like their lifestyle and everything was completely out of alignment, and then filed for bankruptcy. So I was 18 and I had to create a relationship with money very quickly because I was the one who was paying for my college education. I was the one that had to figure out how to have a relationship with money because it was like all of a sudden, like it was on me. It was like I was a full-fledged adult. And my why is that I don't want anyone to never not have that relationship with money, right? And so if you were to tell me like, listen, Aimee, we're going to take all of this away from you and you need to create a business that is like, it can be the dream business that you have. It would be the business that I have right now. I love what I do. I love helping people create a relationship with money. I love helping people create maximum profit in their businesses. And it's because it's not about the money. It comes from a place that has nothing to do with how I'm getting paid for it. It's because of the value that I create. And so for anyone who is on the chase of creating a $10,000 monthly recurring revenue month just for the reason for that, it is going to feel like such a grind to get there because it's not going to be aligned with who you are as a person and who you want to serve. So it needs to be the values that you have as an individual, the values that you want to create in your business have to be aligned, I think, in order to energetically create the business that creates any money goal that you set. So in this case, $10,000 a month. It has to be like that.
Awesome. We're about to wrap this up very, very shortly here, but I got a couple more questions. I want to sneak this one in here. Do you recommend any particular tools for beginners that say like this is the one that you should be working with possibly?
Yeah. So if you are someone who is just starting out and you want a bookkeeping software, the one that I recommend is Xero. It costs about anywhere, depending on what it is, between $15 to $30 a month. If that is something that doesn't feel aligned for you in terms of an investment, what I want to also offer you is another one that's a free software. It's called Wave, and it's a free bookkeeping software. The other thing I recommend is if you are an online business and you need to be taking payments, whether they're ACH or credit card payments, I recommend Stripe as the payment gateway to do that.
Yeah.
That's the one that I recommend. And I recommend that in terms of for banking, that you create the business account. And if you want the easiest way to do that, it's going to the bank that you have your current personal banking with and just ask to create a business account. Again, sometimes there's a fee associated with that, depending on the type of service that you have. But again, if that doesn't feel aligned, there's plenty of businesses, both locally and national banks, that can provide you with a business banking account that will be able to really start to serve you and let you step into being the CEO of your business. And then again, I think once you have that basic bookkeeping system set up, it's really just identifying like and following like who are the people that you want to like to help you build a relationship with money, and really just following those along, because there's a lot that you can do for free, and that from YouTube, from Instagram, from following blogs, all of that. And then the last thing I would recommend, but this is something that isn't free, but it's something that I would recommend is implementing Profit First into your business, because Profit First is a cash flow management system. And what that will do is help you make sure that you are allocating every single dollar that comes into your business with a purpose and an intention, so that number one, you're a profitable business, which 82% of the businesses in the United States are not. They have cash flow constraints, and you want to be part of the 18% of businesses that are highly profitable and living intentionally with having a relationship with their money. So profit, operating expense, tax, and owner's pay, and you're good to go. And if you're interested in learning more about Profit First, I recommend you read the book Profit First by Mike Michalowicz, which you can find at any book, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, local bookstores. You should be able to find it there.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Just a wealth of knowledge, people. A wealth of knowledge from this woman here. So I want to get back into what you just said, just really quick. You recommended going to your local bank. Why go to your local bank to start a business account as opposed of all these new online new quirky startup-y type of banks popping up?
Yeah, I mean, I have some clients that have online banks that work like that, but the thing is that there is a lot of mindset limiting beliefs that new business owners tend to confront when they're just starting out. And so the question that I always ask my clients and what I pose to your listeners is, when it comes to business finances, how can I make this easy? That is the question that you want to ask yourself. And the easiest, and what I have found, is if you already have an existing banking relationship with your local bank, that is the easiest way for you to walk in. You're going to feel confident. You're going to feel, because you're going to be familiar. And you can say, hey, I'm starting a business. I want to set it up right. I'd like to have a business bank account. Who do I need to talk to with that? And they will help you through that entire process. So again, that's what I recommend. If it feels aligning to you to use an online business, like an online bank account that you want, and you want to use one of those vendors, then do it. It's not like listen to Aimee and do all the things, although I think you should. It's really you want to have the financials in your business set up correctly. And what I have found in all the years that I've been doing this, it's working with what's familiar, considering how do I make this easy, and just working through it in a way that just feels aligned with you, and that creates that muscle of financial confidence, because that's really the destination we're heading towards.
I love it. I love all of that, Aimee. So last question, I ask all of my guests, goes something like this. And there are people here watching now, they're listening later, and they want to know, basically, then they have similar goals, similar interests, and they want to know how to do it like Aimee. They want to be like Aimee, helping other people with their money problems, with their finances and so forth, getting into the business side of that. Can you tell them, and I'll put you front and center, how they can become an authority in this space?
You become an authority in this space by, number one, really defining for yourself what your relationship is with money, and being very clear and intentional with that. And then from there, you start to explore different business books. So again, I mentioned Profit First. I would recommend that book. I would recommend any books that you can find about accounting, about bookkeeping. If you are someone who's interested in really helping clients in a CFO capacity, really exploring what it is that those people that sit in the seat of CFO do for businesses. And then if this all still sounds really aligned, is start reaching out to people in the industry. There is such a need for business owners like myself who do bookkeeping and accounting and CFO and cash flow management services that want to help service-based business owners create a relationship with their money. And so they might be hiring. So you could work with them and learn how they do what they do, because the way that business owners need is they need more people to help them create a consultative approach to their business that can help them answer those questions. And so it's really about creating those relationships, creating that network, and just putting yourself out there, because there is so much potential for individuals who love to help business owners with their finances to really make an impact and a difference in the small business landscape.
Great stuff. Perfect. That was perfect,
Mhm.
Aimee. So please tell people where they can find you after the show.
Absolutely. So if you go to my website, myvirtualcfo.co, that's where you can find me and learn all about what I do and how I work with people. If you go to my website in the next 24 or 48 hours, there will be a link for a masterclass that I'm having towards the end of this month. And it's a free masterclass, and it will help you outline and define how to create a money system in your business that is very simple and easy for you to implement at the end of the class.
Great stuff. I don't see why you would not want to go after hearing what she has brought to the stage today. Great stuff, Aimee. I am so honored to have you on here. Love all your answers. Love your knowledge. Love your energy. Love all of it. So, people, make sure you get to that masterclass. I think I'm gonna sign up as soon as it's ready myself, to be honest. So, everybody, as we wrap this up, remember, as I always say, build it, share it, and they will come. We'll see you next time. We're out of here. Peace.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority-building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway, or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.